says the string has a lot to do with it.
I think they're bigger, stronger, faster, and the equipment. It's a combination of all those things.
A good example. Our FedEx Ground stroke of the match. Here is a good look at some of the power that these guys can produce. This time off the backhand wing for Becker.
That's not even his better side, but you can see how still he keeps his upper body. I like that about his ground strokes. There's a little clay court action from Guga. Couple of forehand angles in a row. Opening up the court. Becker on the move. 2 angles back to back. Becker can't run down the second one.
Shades of 1997 when Kuerten came into the French Open ranked 66th in the world. He came out of a challenger in Curitiba, Brazil, and ended up winning the French Open.
And winning, it wasn't as if his draw opened up for him. He was beating all ex-Roland Garros champions, and he was doing it in 5 sets, match after match.
Muster, Kafelnikov. He also beat Medvedev in 5, and then Bruguera in the finals. Remarkable. Yeah, this is one of his best games yet, and vintage stuff. And here's some vintage pictures of Kuerten lifting the French Open trophy. And boy, he was such a great champion, wasn't he?
It was incredible because no one had ever sort of come from that low of a ranking and not shown signs of choking or getting nervous. He won tight matches, match after match, and he was the one who didn't get tight.
Yeah, down 2 sets to 1 to Muster, and then Kafelnikov. He had to grind out some tough matches. Well, Gustavo Kuerten's playing Benjamin Becker in a round-robin match here. Tennis Channel Open. I'm Leif Shiras alongside Jimmy Arias. A chance to recapture some of Gustavo Kuerten's glory here at the Darling Tennis Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. 2nd annual event here in the desert.
Finally, a little bit of length on the ground strokes of Kuerten until that last slice try. Just slice not quite as biting as you want it to be sitting up for Becker. But that's been the difference in this match, really, for me, is Kuerten's not penetrating with his ground strokes, and the backhand side especially is sitting up a little bit, and it's allowing Becker to take control of the rallies. There's another look at that backhand return. Again, he's coming off the follow-through. Used to, if I remember right, that backhand had some nice extension. And now it looks a little flippy. Like he's just trying to roll it in the court. Doesn't have the same confidence to drive backhand winners. That's the backhand that I used to see from Gustavo Kuerten. That might be the first one today, where there was some drive behind the backhand.
Well, what does he do well in this?
Well, the first one's the flicky one, and then all of a sudden, the extension on less wrist and more of his arm, hitting it through with his shoulder.
Yeah.
An 88-mile-an-hour backhand. That's pretty impressive.
Do you think that the altitude gets in his head at all? He feels like he's got to finish over the ball to get it in?
I think it probably does.
Well, that was a better slice there. He kept it down low. I think we have, the same thin air in Indian Wells, but I think we have a little more altitude here, so the players have to make that slight adjustment of coming over it a little more, just ensuring that it's inside the baseline.
Having said that, it's so cold that should make the ball almost feel like regular sea level, because it travels a little less quickly when it's this cold. don't often see Kuerten looking that angry. Larry Pazzo saying it's okay, but he's made too many unforced errors for him. He's starting, you can sense, to feel it in this game. A nice backhand he hit. He was in control of that rally, and I think that's why the outburst. And one quick serve and the game's over.
Well, Becker has a 3-2 lead, and the second set warming up nicely. We're even on serve in the second set. Benjamin Becker, the number 8 seed, has won the opening set 6-4. We looked at Gustavo Kuerten's backhand. Let's look at Benjamin Becker's forehand, which is his strength.
Well, this is a bit of a forehand approach because look at the footwork there. He is stepping in sideways, almost an old-fashioned type. We're very high with the right hand on the backswing. Now he drops the racket head and really drives through. That was an approach shot type forehand. There's the touch from Kuerten that we're used to seeing. Today, most players producing their forehands open stance or at least semi-open. That was a completely closed forehand that we showed you of Benjamin Becker, and that was because he was following it up to the net.
That breaks a string of 9 consecutive points on serve for Kuerten, who was really finding a rhythm not only on the first ball, but backing it up beautifully, too.
Well, that was his M.O., wasn't it? He'd serve, hit a winner, even on clay, back in the day when he was ranked #1.
Yeah, he's finding a nice rhythm on that serve, and he comes from a very high place, 6 feet 3 inches tall. He's got those long arms. He can really develop a nice rhythm and consistency on that serve. Well, just to remind you, next up is Sam Querrey, young American, doing so well. Of course, Barry McKay will step in the booth alongside Jimmy Arias. He takes Sam Querrey taking on Julien Benneteau, the French player. Chance for Querrey, if he can win that match, perhaps to put himself in a nice position to get to the quarterfinals.
Something that he seems to win matches every week. Querrey does, but hasn't really broken through yet in an event. I think this event may be tailor-made for him to break through because of the altitude. His serve should be even more difficult to break.
Yeah, Sam Querrey's in the same group as Paul Goldstein, and Paul Goldstein won his first round robin match, so that's shaping up to be an interesting group.
Benneteau was the seed in that group, but he's played his way out of it pretty much with only winning 1 game against Paul Goldstein. Goldstein, a semi-finalist here last year, likes the conditions, likes it windy, says the uglier it is, the better for him.
Yeah, he joined us in the booth, and he's a funny guy about his tennis. Yeah, the worse it is, the better it is for me. Of course, he nearly took out Leighton Hewitt in that semifinal last year, so when he says he's tough in these conditions, he means it.
A little bit of bad luck. Again, you get the sense that Kuerten's starting to feel the ground strokes a little bit better, but then the top of the net jumps up and grabs this one and ends up being a sitter for Becker. Just can't quite sink his teeth into these Becker serve games. It's a few too many big first serves, 1 or 2 errors.
Take a bite out of that volley. And this time the net cord works for him. Yeah. Pops it up nicely.
Good adjustment. That wasn't an easy volley after the top of the net.
Jimmy, maybe it would have been easier for me, but not for you. Gustavo Kuerten battling to win that opening point here in the 8th game on serve. As I said earlier, you're playing a guy like Becker who serves big and protects his serve. There's that pressure to protect your own serve.
Well, he's done it better in this set. He's only lost 3 points in this set on his serve, Kuerten, as he is starting to win a lot of the rallies now. If it wasn't for the top of the net, however, again, setting up Becker for an easy approach. And again, the timing of Kuerten a little off, even on the lob. He was so far out in front of it that he couldn't get anything on the lob.
Well, an aggressive return, and here's some more trouble for Kuerten. He cannot afford to lose his serve here. Becker could serve for the match. Of course, here's an update on our score from outside. This is the Mirage Cup. Angela Haynes has rallied to win the 2nd set.
She's stopped missing short high forehands that she was struggling with in the 1st set. Well, just like that again, Kuerten, one little bit of a shaky service game, and it could cost him the match now. After only losing 3 points in the entire set on his serve, has lost 3 in this game, and is facing a couple of break points. Becker 1 of 3 on those chances. Big serve. That's one thing Kuerten always did well, was when down break points, seemed to be able to come up with big serves. He needs another one here. Fluid, loose motion from Guga. Kuerten ends up winning this match. Becker will remember this point. And you can see the little smile on his face. That was a sitter passing shot. Is a surprise serve and volley on 2nd serve, and Becker had the winner lined up. That's just lack of playing, lack of matches for Kuerten. He does not make drop shot errors like you've seen a couple of times today. Changes the grip and not even close.
Well, he'll have to defend another break point.
Second serve again. I don't think he's going to go with a serve and volley again this time.
Now the forehand's wide, and his serve is lost. Just too many unforced errors, and boy, Becker is knocking at the door here with a chance to serve for it.
This is actually an important game for Gustavo Kuerten because Becker won 8 games against his loss to Jan Ernich, so he's got to at least win 8. Otherwise, I don't think he's getting out of the round robin section, even if he beats Ernich. Well, it's percentage of games won, so I think if he wins badly,
yeah, that's right. He'd have to.
Percentage-wise, he would pass Becker. That's the backhand we've been waiting for. He's hit only one or two of those clean, flat backhands. This time stepping into the second serve inside the baseline, driving a winner.